Ah, there you are. How is everyone? As you can see, here I am in front of the Elvis statues in Tupelo. It's a balmy 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or if you come from my neck of the woods, it's 20 degrees C. Hi Jill, Karen. I see there's been quite a bit of debate. Mary Jane, I see there's been quite a bit of debate so far about songs that Elvis made his own. Laurie, Nebraska. Hello from Nebraska. Hi, Nebraska. Don't forget, I want to just remind anybody that's new today to click on subscribe, click the bell, and then click all, not personalized. We've been down this route a couple of times. If you click personalized, you don't get hardly any updates from me or notifications to say when I'm going live and new videos. Suzanne, hi Suzanne, greetings from Germany. I don't know whether you joined us last Sunday about the new statue that's going up in Bad Nauheim. Bad Nauheim, I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah. Okay. Jill, hi Arkansas, Dave. They had a tornado in Tupelo the other day. Don't remind me. R.I.P. Bobby Morris. That's sad. Sorry to see that. So coming up tonight is some songs that I just picked out, some songs that weren't actually Elvis songs, but he covered them and then he made them his own. Now, did he make them his own? It's all sort of open to people's opinion. It's subjective whether he re-recorded a song or recorded a cover of somebody's version and he did a better job in everybody's opinion. Hello from Brazil. Wow, we have a big Elvis fan legion here. I know Brazil. Yeah, Brazil is very, very big. Very, very big. Don Dib. So again, I better switch that off. I don't know. I forgot to switch that off. That mobile phone with the finger going up and down. Yeah. So I've picked out about 9 or 10 songs, cover versions, and you can tell me what you think. Somebody says, are you sick of coffee yet? I will never get sick of coffee. Never get sick of coffee because I just absolutely love coffee. I've loved coffee all my life. Deb, I saw that you said you were going to have an operation this week sometime, so I'd just like to wish you all the best for that. I think it was you that I saw there saying about a operation, so I'm sure everybody here as well wish you the best. Sir Klopp, hello Steve from Ireland. Hello Sir Klopp, how are you doing? And also, I also just want to send sympathies to Mary as well, who said that she'd lost her granddaughter as well. So my condolences on that as well. So yeah, we're going to do those. I'm also going to tell you near the end of this this live stream also about the upcoming Fan of the Month quiz for Sunday. I'm going to tell you what the theme is, and I'm also going to tell you, I'm going to give you a hint of what the song of the week is as well. I'll buy you a Guinness instead. Well, that's okay. I could change it from coffee to Guinness on the page. I can change it to pizza. I can change it to beer. I can change it to anything, believe it or not. All donations gratefully accepted. I think that Let It Be Me by the Everly Brothers doesn't compare to Elvis's version. That's not on my list, actually. But you know something? If this goes well, I might do another list for another Wednesday sometime. Can you do the show from Vegas some night? That's a great idea, isn't it? That reminds me, they've kept a little square of the original staging in the International Hotel, or the Hilton as it is now, where Elvis stood just before he went on every night. I thought that was very nice. So, yeah. Vincenzo, John, anybody seen Elvis Lass yet? Is Elvis Lass in the building? Maybe she's lurking. How about weed? Okay. I don't know who's saying that. Oh, BP Monkman. Yeah, okay. I can donate money for that. My way is a big one. Well, this idea was actually initiated by Duke Coke, or was it Duke Coke or Duke Cola, something like that. Duke Coke, I think it was. He was saying that he thought he asked me actually. He said, "Who did you think did the best version of My Way? Was it Frank Sinatra or Elvis?" And I said Elvis. So, hi Matt, good to see you again. How you keeping? There's Elvis Lass, just arrived. You're late, Michelle. Have you got a note? I saw your video from this morning, dating, and it's actually I don't 100% agree with you on that, and it's probably one of the first times I've actually not agreed with your choice. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I must admit, listening to the outtakes, I've always had fun listening to the outtakes of dating and A Dog's Life, so that's always fun. But songs Elvis made his own Hound Dog. Well, again, you see, that isn't on the list. Well, it isn't on this list. It doesn't mean it might not be on the next list. So I've tried to think of a few obscure ones to see what everybody thinks. I suppose we could make a start. 1975, I Can Help, Billy Swan. Recorded on the 10th of March at the RCA Hollywood Studios. It made it on to the Elvis Today album, and it's quite funny because on the outtakes, when the tape starts rolling, Elvis joked that he was tired of it, and then he said, "Billy Swan, my ass." So again, there's two versions. There's the version that ended up on Elvis Today, and then there's also the version which isn't overdubbed. So and it's probably, a lot of people know I'm a big fan of the undubbed versions of Elvis's records. So I'm going to say that I thought I Can Help by Billy Swan undubbed was probably the best. Now let's see what everybody thinks of his version of Billy Swan's I Can Help. Good choice, Steve. I love I Can Help. Okay. Blue Moon of Kentucky, and That's All Right, 1954. Yeah, well, yeah, they're cover versions. Yeah. Sunny in Memphis Today. Correct, it is. 20 degrees, 68 Fahrenheit. Okay, I don't care for that version of that song. That's obviously I Can Help. There's an interesting story, actually, about I Can Help, the recording of I Can Help. And it was, I covered it on my podcast about the making of Elvis Today. Billy Swan obviously bowled over that Elvis was recording his song, covering it. And he made a strange request to Felton Jarvis. He wanted the socks that Elvis was wearing the day he recorded I Can Help. And yeah, Felton actually sent a pair of socks to Billy. Now, whether we'll ever know for sure whether Billy got the actual socks that Elvis was wearing, how Felton could get the socks that he was wearing that day, how Elvis knew what socks he was wearing that day is another question. But that's a funny kind of story, anecdote. Bernadette says prefers Elvis's version of I Can Help. Only the Strong Survive. Elvis did it much better. The Last Farewell, original by Roger Whittaker. Correct. Roger Whittaker was the original one. Yep. Next one. Again, it was from the same recording session. 10th of March, 1975. Green, Green Grass of Home. Now, that's a really contentious one, isn't it? Green, Green Grass of Home. Billy Swan recorded a slow version of "Don't Be Cruel." Did he? I might fish that out. Well, basically, Dave, all the things that I post on YouTube are also posted on the podcast channel, and it's Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel. It's simple. It's simple to find because you just Google it and it'll come up. I mean, it's on Google Podcasts, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Amazon Music, it's on Spotify. Anywhere you get podcasts, you can listen to the podcast. And I find sometimes podcasts are easier to listen to as you're going about your day-to-day business. Because you don't have to be looking at a screen, you know what I mean? So you can just be listening to what I'm saying. So the things like I did with King Creole sessions and Elvis is Back and Blue Hawaii, all those you can just listen to on your headphones while you're doing other things if you go to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel podcast. Love his version, lot better than Tom Jones's. I like Elvis's version of Green Green Grass of Home. Ruth Daniel sitting on the fence, but that is right as well. It is nice to say you like both. You might like the two versions for different reasons. People say Tom Jones is the definitive version, but my favorite is Elvis. Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact I'm going to get a lot of people saying Elvis, Elvis, Elvis because this is an Elvis fan channel. That makes sense. I think Green Green Grass of Home is a tie between Tom and Elvis. Good, well said, John. We all know the story about Green Green Grass of Home as well, don't we? Elvis first heard it in 1966 while they were driving home from Hollywood to Memphis after making a movie, and every time it played, he got one of the lads. He pulled up at a payphone and asked one of the boys to ring in George Klein, WHBQ, I think it was, and ask him to play it again. And I think. I think George nearly got fired because he ended up playing it 6 or 7 times. Juan says, don't diss the Welsh. Yes, exactly. Yeah, Elvis is requesting Tom's version to be played over and over again. Suggested Elvis would give it to Tom. I'm on iHeart, the podcast as well. Yeah, it's anywhere where you can get podcasts, you will find my podcast. Yeah, it's a strange one, all right. Elvis, I think he nearly got George Klein sacked or fired. We say sacked over here, but in the States, we would say fired. Yeah, Elvis has a warmth in his voice that Tom Jones doesn't. And somebody is just confirming that it was WHBQ. Let's have a few more. The Tafts are good people. Richard, I'm Welsh. Now I know that's not Richard because that's somebody using their husband's, name, account or whatever. I think that's a young lady. She's Welsh. Right, I'm going to do the next one. I've done I Can Help. Done Green Green Grass. And this, believe it or not, is the third one from the Elvis Today sessions. And it's Shake a Hand. Originally done by Faye Adams in 1953. It was also covered by Little Richard, Laverne Baker, Pat Boone, Ike and Tina Turner. And believe it or not, Paul McCartney. I think he did it on his Run Devil Run album. Yeah, we know that actually Elvis hated Robert Goulet. I think it stems back to when Elvis was in Germany and Robert Goulet said that he was looking after Anita Wood. Whether that's just a rumor or not, I don't know. But I don't think that Elvis would have been too happy about something like that. Elvis would shoot any TV if Robert Goulet came on. Oh man, that is funny. That is just so funny. I mean, I know it's kind of reckless in a way, shooting a gun off inside. It's still funny though. I can just imagine Al, boom. I remember a story as well. Lisa Marie asked Daddy, Daddy, why did you shoot the television? And he just sort of sheepishly said, oh, honey, there was just something on it that annoyed Daddy. Again, there's the overdubbed version and there's the undubbed version, which is on the double album of Elvis Today that came out a few years ago on CD. And yes, what a surprise, I prefer the undubbed version. And again, there's another story about the recording sessions at RCA Studios in Hollywood in March 1975. Elvis was absolutely livid when he heard the tapes that had been mixed and overdubbed after they'd been sent to New York and then back to Memphis for him to listen to. He was absolutely livid at what they'd done. And he was saying about how he was going to leave RCA and he was going to go with White Whale, which was a small independent recording label in Memphis at the time. But I don't know, nothing ever came of it because the mix we hear on Elvis today is the one that he heard. So he must have calmed down and thought better of it. But there you go. I don't think it was the first or the last time he was annoyed and unhappy with the treatment of his music by RCA. And funny enough, that's a slight connection with the Song of the Week for Sunday. I'll tell you more about that on Sunday. Yeah, one time Elvis almost shot Vernon by mistake. I think the bullet rattled around inside the television and came out. I don't think it was Vernon. I think it hit Dr. Nick just there in the chest. But by then it was spent and it kind of just fell on the floor. But Vernon was there and Vernon wasn't too happy about it. So there you go. Shake a hand. Did he make that his own or not? Sky Jellyfetti. I like that. Hi. He nearly shot Linda Thompson one night. Yeah, she was in the bathroom and it went through the wall and smashed a mirror or something on the wall. So, yeah. Crazy times. A lot of people said it was boredom as well because I'm sure, especially when he was in Vegas, he would have been bored out of his skull. Just he couldn't really go anywhere. He had to just sort of wait up in his hotel room between dinner show and midnight show. Elvis is the best, correct? He is. Telly Nikon, hi Riley, how are you doing? Okay, Vincenzo says he thinks he made Shake a Hand his own. So that's, yeah. I must have been listening to Elvis Today when I was making this list. Because would you believe it, the next one as well is from Elvis Today. 10th of March, the day before Shake a Hand. And it's Fairy Tale. Obviously, the Pointer Sisters and people like that are well known for singing Fairy Tale. Now, I'm going to say something quite contentious about Fairy Tale in a minute. My opinion. You know me. I always give you my opinion on what I think. I'd love to have shaken Elvis's hand. Yeah, wouldn't we all? So, Fairy Tale. What does everybody think about Elvis's recording of Fairy Tale? Yes, it is a shame I can't even play one track because if I did, I would be blocked. David Bowie said he used to get bored after 10 shows. It made you think about Elvis doing it. Yeah, I mean, he had to do it for a month, didn't he? Elvis's version is an absolute fave. It's up tomorrow on... Oh, right. It's up on your channel tomorrow, is it, Elvis Lass? I'll make sure I look in and see what you say. I don't think anyone beat Elvis's version of Fairy Tale. Now, what I'm going to say now is... I'm just waiting for the comments to come up a little bit. Anula, how are you doing? I think that the studio version of Fairy Tale, recorded in 1975, he was trying to sing it in too high a key. That's what I think he was trying to do, and he was almost straining at some notes. And the live versions that he did were a lot better. Sheila, hiya Sheila, yeah. She says she saw him perform that on June the 26th, 1977. I have a book here that explains all about that, actually. Somebody going to see him on the 26th of June 1977, obviously his last ever concert. So I think that Elvis's live versions of Fairy Tale were a lot better than the 1975 studio recording. You'll be shocked to know that the next one is not from March 1975. It's Early Morning Rain, recorded on the 15th of March in Nashville. A 4-day recording session. Before he actually had... this was the recording session where he began to have problems with his eyes, and in March 1971, and they had to call a halt to the recording session because he was in so much pain and discomfort, and he was actually rushed to hospital, and we know the story about him having to have a needle inserted into his eye and all that, and secondary glaucoma was diagnosed. So not a great time for Elvis there in March 1971. 1966, Gordon Lightfoot. Okay, some people are saying the Early Morning Rain, Elvis all the way. Yeah, it's a great song. No matter who is singing it, it's a great song. For me, Elvis's version edges Gordon Lightfoot or any other version that has come out. Yes, he did. He had glaucoma, is correct. So let's see what people are saying. Yeah, the 1973 version of Early Morning Rain, the one he did after the Aloha special, after everybody had filed out, they called him back in to do some shows for inserts, and that's a nice version. Early Morning Rain, excellent. Yeah. Did Elvis make it his own? He probably did. If you had to say, he probably did. The next one. Speaking of Aloha, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, the Hank Williams number from 1949. And we also know that Elvis introduced it by saying, I'd like to sing one of the saddest songs I ever heard. Great recording. Love the master of Early Morning Rain. Oh, hi, Andrew. Yeah, there's another good version of Elvis in concert in Early Morning Rain. That's when he asks John Wilkerson to play the guitar, and then he starts singing along. Wow, somebody there says, I shook his hand at the gate. Deb. You lucky person, Deb. Okay. What does everybody think of Elvis's version of I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry? Aloha from Hawaii, 1973. Elvis Last says it makes me weep. So if you do a video on that, Michelle, we'll have to get the the Kleenexes ready. Yeah, he gives himself shivers, Lee, when he's singing I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. Yeah, Elvis nailed it. Yeah, they're very, very different vocals. Hank Williams' vocal was, Hank's voice was quite hard anyway, wasn't it? So, yeah, again, it's a toss-up between the two, isn't it? Although I would probably lean towards Elvis's. Although I do like Hank's version as well. Next one. Now, he did this quite a few times along the way. He did it in the studio in June 1970, and he did quite a few versions, live versions, all the way up from August 1970, and that's the way it is, all the way until the very, very last performance on June 26, 1977. And it's just simply known to us as Bridge Over Troubled Water. Although a lot of the time when Elvis wanted to sing it, he just called Bridge, and the band knew exactly what was needed. So Simon and Garfunkel, of course, from the same name of the album, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Paul Simon has gone on record as saying, "How can I compete with that?" when he heard Elvis singing it live. There's this sort of outstanding versions of Elvis on tour. That's the way it is. June 26, 1977. People that attended that June 26, 1977 concert said what a great version he did that very, very final concert. If I had to pick one, it would be the one that appears on Elvis on Tour. The June 26th performance of Bridge. Wow. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, Bridge Over Troubled Water. I love Elvis's version, especially the version on his last concert. Okay. Martin Kemp. Oh, I thought I said Martin Kemp then. Marin Kemp. Martin Kemp is a singer, isn't he? The best version of Bridge is in 1972, Greensboro. Okay. Yeah. He was really nailing Bridge Over Troubled Water in 1972. Let's see what everybody else says. Yeah, Elvis's version of Bridge, any of them. Yeah. Great song, The Owl Suit. Yeah. There's a joke about that, isn't there? The owl suit. From Elvis on Tour. By the way, this is an owl. Yeah. Nobody could beat Elvis on that. Jacqueline C. Willie Nelson, big weed advocate. Yeah, we know. Yeah, the 26th of June, 1977 was Elvis's last concert. June the 26th, 1979 was the day that Elvis's father died. And June the 26th was supposedly supposed to be Tom Parker's birthday as well. 26th of June, 1909, Huntsville. Martin Kemp was Steve Owen in EastEnders. He was, correct. Yeah. Where are we? Bridge. Definitely on tour, BP Monkman. Elvis took ownership of every song he did. Okay. Well, the next song I plucked out is Tomorrow is a Long Time, Bob Dylan. Recorded by Elvis during the How Great Thou Art sessions, May 26, 1966. Bob has gone on record as saying Elvis's recording is the one I treasure the most. What do you think of that coming from Bob Dylan? Elvis first heard it when session musician Charlie McCoy played Elvis the album Odetta Sings Dylan, and the song struck a chord with Elvis. And strangely, it was a bonus song on Spin Out. It was to fill out the album, a bit like Guitar Man and Clam Bake. Obviously, neither of those appeared in the movie, but they were just a bonus song. So, Elvis did Dylan's songs great. Yeah, what about Don't Think Twice, It's All Right? That's another one. That one goes on for about 8.5 minutes. I know RCA cut it to ribbons and edited it right down. Bob Dylan is a brilliant writer. E's version is best. Excuse me. That's all I can really say about that one. We also know about Bob Dylan going into the Sun studio and getting down on his hands and knees and kissing the floor where Elvis used to stand to do his recordings. So, yeah, fantastic. Yes, June the 26th, 1909 was the Colonel's birthday. Not a good day for the Presleys. Not really, was it? No, we consider it was his last concert, and it was also the day that his father would die 2 years later. Yeah. Just sometimes those things happen. Yeah, I ordered that from Sun Studios. And I've that's an insulated beaker. Well, not beaker, tumbler. But I've also got a glass as well. Number 9. Recorded Tuesday, February the 3rd in the Jungle Room, written by Neil Sedaka and Phil Cody. Recorded by the Carpenters in 1975. As I say, it was written by Neil Sedaka in 1972, and it was Solitaire. There you go, from the Jungle Room sessions. Again, I suppose it's quite an obscure song as far as Elvis songs go. It wouldn't trip off most casual fans' lips. What does everybody think of Solitaire? Danny B-side, Solitaire. Yeah. I think Danny was guessing before I said it, because I sort of said written by Neil Sedaka, recorded by the Carpenters in 1975. Yeah. It's Solitaire is amazing. Do you know, it was the only track he recorded on that day, February the 3rd. It was one of those days when he just wasn't really in the mood to record, and then he goes and lays down a track like that. Amazing, really. Amazing. He was having quite a little bit of difficulty with Solitaire, because there's a part where when the tape starts running, he says, "I'm going to kill Neil Sedaka when I see him." You can actually hear that little aside on the album Way Down in the Jungle Room. Jacqueline C says, not a favorite of mine. I think Elvis had the hots for Karen Carpenter. I'm not too sure. There's a story going around, I don't believe it for a minute, that he wanted a threesome with her and Petula Clark. Petula Clark is saying Elvis wanted a threesome with me and Karen Carpenter. Yeah, right. Okay. Whatever. And he did 10 takes of that on the day. Yeah. Okay. And the final version, the final song that did Elvis make it his own, did he or didn't he make it on his own, is a favourite of mine. And it was recorded on 17th of February 1969. And it's True Love Travels on a Gravel Road. There you go. True Love Travels on a Gravel Road. Original by Dwayne D. Percy Sledge had quite a bit of success with it in 1969 too. Somebody says, don't believe it at all. No, I don't believe it either. I know Elvis could have had his pick of just about anybody he liked, but or anybody he wanted, but anyway, I'm not going down that road. Riley says, Travels, good tune. Most women would be happy with a twosome with Elvis. I like your style, DMC. I like your style. Okay, no surprise at all when I'm going to tell you that, again, I prefer the undubbed master, undubbed take, whatever you want to call it, undubbed versions of True Love Travels on a Gravel Road. Because again, when he actually sings some lines, you can't hear Elvis's vocal because it's buried beneath the overdubs. So again, I would be sort of locking horns with Felton on that. Actually, it wasn't Felton then, was it? It was Chips. I beg your pardon. Felton was a little bit after 1969. Elvis loved beauty queens, but Julia Clark was no beauty queen. Yeah. So those are just a few songs I plucked out of the air to ask people what they thought, whether Elvis made that his own, whether he did or he didn't make it his own, who you liked the best, the original artist or Elvis. And I would imagine, looking at the comments, nearly 9 times out of 10 people are saying Elvis took a song and just made it his own. The best version of True Love Travels on a Gravel Road is by Nick Lowe in 1994. George, I've heard that, and that's not a bad version at all. Elvis's voice really sort of soars on it when he's singing certain lines. How many hearts could live through all the winter we've known and still not be cold? Not once have I seen your blue eyes fill with envy or stray from the one that you hold. You know, just those lines, they just soar. Elvis's voice is just fabulous in 1969 anyway. We know that. You probably want to know what the theme is for Fan of the Month on Sunday. And I've taken pity on you, and it's not... It's not Complete the Lyrics this coming Sunday. I know a lot of people have been saying it's too much typing. So I've changed it to general knowledge. So it's just going to be general knowledge questions this Sunday, and some of the answers are just 1 or 2 words. So there's hardly any typing this Sunday. You'll be glad to know. Elvis did not have bone cancer. No, I'm not too sure where that came from, to be honest. She Thinks I Still Care by George Jones is better than Elvis. Right, okay, fair enough. Elvis and Karen would have made a great singing couple, yes. I would imagine. I mean, I'm not really that into duets with Elvis that much, but I would have loved to have... put those two together to see how it turned out. I mean, down the line now, they might do something where they combine 2 recordings, a recording of Karen and a recording of Elvis, to see how it comes out. Greetings from Russia. Hi. As I say, if there's anybody new here this week, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, and then click all. Don't leave it on personalized, but click on all. Okay, I'll switch that off again. I don't want that running too long. Yeah, Elvis Lass. I would have loved to hear them sing together as well. Of course, Elvis didn't really do that many songs. They didn't do the same songs, so there'll only be 1 or 2 to choose from. Obviously, Solitaire will be one they could do. Good topic. It's going to be easier for me. Well, yeah, hopefully it will. Song of the week is it's a cracker. It really is a cracker. It's from the late 60s, and that's all I'm going to tell you, because if I tell you too much, you'll know what it is. But it really is a cracker. Please tune in on Sunday for Song of the Week. And as always, what I'll do is I'll put a link below to the song so you can just click on it and listen to it. We don't really want to get into discussing Elvis's health issues too much tonight. Elvis Lass is on here. She has a fun channel. She certainly does. She certainly does have a fun channel. I'd agree with you, Riley. Charlie, in his own words, said it on Memphis Mafia documentary. Okay. I don't know how we actually got on that subject when we were talking about cover versions. Yeah, there is an undubbed. There are quite a few versions any day now which are undubbed. Barbra Streisand and Elvis singing a duet. Yes. Oh yeah, I'm glad you reminded me. When will part 2 be available of the interview? I did part 1 with Marilyn Demeter last Wednesday. So this Wednesday, in about, what time is it now? It is 10 past the hour. At half past this hour is part 2 of Sweet Memories of My Friend Elvis. If you haven't heard part 1, listen to part 1 first. It's on this channel, and then catch up with part 2, which will be available from half past this hour. So in about 20 minutes. Yeah, Arkansas Dave reminded me. I almost forgot about that. I've done the cover versions. I've done the fan of the month quiz, what it's going to be, and I've done I've hinted at the song of the week, and I almost forgot to tell you to listen to part 2 of My Sweet Memories of My Friend Elvis by Marilyn Demeter. And there's a very funny story on there about the first time her husband met Elvis. You know how some people get tongue-tied or they just faint. If I'd have met Elvis, I probably would have fainted. Some people just, they just get tongue-tied and everything like that. Well, it was funny what Marilyn's husband did. It was very funny, and what he said. So listen out for that on part 2. So yeah, I don't really want to crash my video. I want to give you time to get yourself settled. If you do want to watch that or listen to it, you can listen to it. You can listen to it and watch it on YouTube. You can listen to it on the podcast channel, Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel, whichever you want to do. If you need to be doing something while it's on, you can just listen to it on the podcast. I've had a great time again. Thank you very, very much. I say this every Wednesday and Sunday. Without you, this channel would just not exist, because it's your channel, not my channel. And let's keep Elvis's name alive by doing this. If you do appreciate and want to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee by clicking the link below. And that's about it. I'm really looking forward to Sunday. I'm really looking forward to disclosing to you what my song of the week is, because it really is a belter. And until Sunday, please look